Coming up on this episode of the Spiro Podcast.
When I started to realize how important feelings were, that's when it allowed me to really connect with my team and get those feelings back. When I shared, they would share, and that's when we made progress.
Welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd Kivimaki and Craig Magrum.
Hello and welcome to the Spiro Podcast. Spiro is a real estate software platform that will help you manage, run, and scale your real estate media business. It was designed by real estate photographers for you, the real estate photographer, and we have used it at our real estate media company since inception for over 21 years here. Now it's looked a lot different, but we have great features in there for you and many more coming up soon. So welcome to the podcast. My name is Todd Kivimaki. I am the owner and the founder of Spiro. And unfortunately, my co-host Craig is not with me today, Craig Magrum. He is my partner in crime, and he had to take a few shoots today with Wow Video Tours, our real estate media company. He works there. If you don't know him, he has a hybrid role in sales and also photography. So just me today, excited to be here with you today. Craig will be back on next week, and we will continue on with him together. This week, I have an exciting topic. What I did, y'all, is I went back into the archives of my coaching notes. I've got them printed off here. And over the years, I have hired various different coaches. I truly believe that a coach, having a guide, this is a mentor, a guide, can exponentially increase the trajectory of your business and the growth. And I always, when I say growth is what you want it to be. For us at Wow Video Tours, we do over 12,000 jobs a year. We are growing. We have 30 some photographers, and we have defined growth to be number of jobs, revenue, average order value. Growth doesn't have to mean that for you. It's actually taken a little bit of a transition in growth for me at Wow. Growth for me at Wow was that I was able to step outside of the business. I have two fabulous leaders that run the company, and they are able to grow the company without me. I'm there when they need me. I'm there to help build a sense of community, but they are doing all the heavy lifting, and they're putting people underneath them that help them grow and take things off their plate. Coincidentally, that's kind of what we're going to talk about today on the podcast. I'm excited to share my notes from, his name was Dennis, one of my early coaches. And we're going to talk about a few things that we're doing at Wow that connect all of these. But before I do so, I wanted to take just a quick minute here to let you know about two exciting things coming up. One, we have some exciting classes for you Spiro users out there. We call it our Spiro Academy, and myself and Shannon Landers, our VP of product at Spiro, who also helped me grow and scale Wow, our media company, is going to be teaching. So we're going to do three different classes right now, and we're happy to add more. And we're going to be doing these monthly, and some of them a couple times a month. So the first class we're calling Spiro 201. And that is going to be myself teaching you all the day-to-day tips and tricks of how to use Spiro. So are you using all of the functionality? What happens? How do I quickly reschedule? How do I quickly place an order? How do I do the day-to-day task? And what tips and tricks I have to share with you? Then in Spiro 202, Shannon and myself, when available, she's going to be teaching you pricing strategies. So this is going to be fabulous. This is going to be how to think about your services, how to think about what's involved with the cost of goods, with overhead, with pricing to your clients, competitions. What should I price? What should I sell it for? We see this question asked all the time, and it's a question that I had very early on too. So we're going to solve those things for you, tell you about how we strategize and what we do to make sure that you're pricing things correctly. Then finally, our third class is going to be Spiro 203, and that's going to be task and workflows. So this is the engine, the powerful engine inside Spiro that can automate the after shoot process. Dropbox folders, sharing with editors, adding in tasks, all of your to-do lists, auto importing back into the property website, automatically sending delivery emails if you want that. Whatever it may be, we are going to show you how to automate that engine for you so that you can get your time back to focus on what growth is and what steps you need to do to grow at your business. Finally, the second thing that I wanted to mention, we're up and coming Spiro Updates. So we are looking at an early March 2025 release date, and we are going to give you some goodies. We're going to give you the ability to send feedback forms after the shoot. This could be after the photographer leaves the house. This could be after you deliver the media. Heck, this could be after the order is placed. How was the ordering process? Do you have any questions for us? You can set expectations in that. And we also have a mechanism to help you understand how that went for your client, 1 through 5 stars, and you can send them to get Google reviews, Facebook reviews, and to build your profiles there. So we're excited about that. We are also looking at the order pages and how you can sell better. Your AOV, or your average order value, is incredibly important. It's one of the 3 most important metrics at your real estate media business. We track it. We know what it is at ours, and we know what the goal of our AOV is. And so does everyone else at the company. So we are going to look at how you can sell better on that order page. Then finally, we are creating and launching what we call landing pages. So this is a collection of different order pages. So your clients can go to this landing page and they can go to the appropriate order page. Maybe they have an Airbnb that needs done and they're not going to order from your residential order page. You can display your Airbnb, commercial, lifestyle, headshots, whatever segments you want to advertise, you can do it on there. You put your brand colors, you put your brand messaging on there, and you make it easy for your clients to get to the appropriate order page. So excited about those updates coming up. And like I said, early March 2025, those will be live inside your system. So I dug into the vault for you all. I literally went and I have paper notebooks that I have written on and kept my day-to-day notes and journals in. And I kept notebooks during my coaching calls with my coaches over the years. And this is something that was fun to go back through. And so I went back years ago. I think this was 2018 of these coaching notes. And it was fun just to read them and just to kind of see what was in my head at the time and to see what my coach was teaching me. So one thing that I learned as you transition in your business and grow your business, and you step out of the singular role of photographer into business owner, one thing that is incredibly important is that you continue to tell everyone why. Why are you doing what you are doing? Why are you asking them to do what they're doing? I think early in my career, I minimized this idea of telling everyone why. And as I look back, it's probably because I knew why in my own head, right? I mean, think about it. Why are you doing what you're doing? You don't have to say it to yourself, right? You just know instinctively because your brain works like that. So I found out in some negative ways that not telling people why, they would conclude why. So a saying I love and use all the time is your employees' perception is their reality. And if they perceive something in the wrong way, that's their reality. And you know what? They're going to go tell other employees or other contractors. Heck, maybe even some of your clients, some of these things that are simply not true. And y'all, it's not because they're being negatively intentional. They're really not. It's not like they want to undermine you. It's not like they want to hurt your business. They just need to know why, and they're trying to give that to your employees, your clients, whatever it may be. So it's incredibly important that you set this why for your company, for your clients, and for your employees. Now, one thing that we just did, and in fact, we just did it this morning, we did a company kickoff. And what that was we got everybody into a virtual meeting room. If you can do it live and in person, get everybody in the same room, rent out a room, get a boardroom somewhere, or have them into your house or have them into your office, have some food, some beverages, not alcoholic. I mean, you do what you want, but this is professional, and gather with them face to face. Now, for our team, we span many different states. We span across the world. And yes, we have our VAs in here as well. So we have team members in Kosovo. We have team members in the Philippines. And we want to make sure that they are in this meeting. They're a huge part of our business. We could not operate without those team members. So they need to know why as well, and we include them. So we did this kickoff meeting, and what we did is we looked back at 2024. What happened last year? We happened to send a survey out to our clients at the very beginning of 2025. And in it, we asked typical questions. It's the same survey we send every year. So we asked them about quality of the customer service, quality of the scheduling and ordering process, quality of their media, overall satisfaction. We're asking them those questions, and we're having them rate them based on a scale of extremely satisfied, neutral, dissatisfied, extremely dissatisfied, and then we have a not applicable. So we rate them on that scale, or we ask them to rate us on that scale, and then we look at that feedback. So we had collected that at our media company, and we had that data to share. Now, one thing is all of our employees knew that we sent that survey out. So we're always communicating this. And I found over the years that the more transparent you can be as a business owner, the better. Again, remember, some of these things live in your head. You know everything about your business. So it seems like a waste of time, or at least to me, it seemed like a waste of time to actually slow down and tell everybody what I already knew, right? I mean, think about it. How busy are all we? This is what was going on in my head, by the way. How busy are all we? We have way too much to do. I'm way too busy. Why would I stop and tell them something that I know? It sounds kind of crazy even saying it, that I was not aware that needed to be done. Like, why would I just assume that they knew everything that was in my head? But I've learned from it. So if you have that assumption, please take time, slow down, and tell your team what is happening. So our employees knew that this survey went out, and we needed to close that loop of communication, meaning they needed to know what the survey said. Heck, they're directly involved with the overall satisfaction and the growth of our company. So we took the first half of the presentation today to go over those numbers. And for us, those numbers were great. We were excited about them. They were really about what we received the last time we did the survey. And nothing more to know other than that we just were still very high. An overall net promoter score. And this is something that Steve tracks for us. And we can go into what a net promoter score is in maybe another podcast or maybe one of my coaching calls. But we had an overall net promoter score of 84%. 84.6%. So 85 if you round up, which we feel, and from an industry standard, is an incredible net promoter score. That is someone who is extremely satisfied with your services, meaning they're giving you referrals, they're raving fans. And we wanted to celebrate that with our employees. Heck, they're the reason why we got such a great score. So we took time to do that. And then at the end of that, we transition into the next segment. of telling them what's ahead. So we're looking back to 24 and we're looking ahead to 25, right? Everybody wants to know where we're going. Think about it. If you were in the car going somewhere and you have no clue where the driver is going, doesn't it get a little unnerving? Like, why am I in here? Why am I doing this? So your employees and your team want to know where you're going. Again, I'm going to say it again, and this is going to become redundant. I'm sorry, y'all. But just because it's in your head does not mean that your team knows about it. And when they don't know about something, they're going to make up a conclusion to it. And that sometimes might be crazy. Right? You're like, remember the telephone game we used to play in elementary school? The telephone game where you start with saying something with the first person, and then you whisper it in, that person whispers it into the ear of the second person, into the ear of the third, fourth. Well, by the time you get to the 20th person, that is nowhere even close. That statement or that idea is nowhere even close to the way it started. So please, you have a great opportunity as the business owner to make sure that everybody is clear. Don't play the telephone game. Just get over the loudspeaker and announcements. Okay. Why do they do announcements, the Pledge of Allegiance on the loudspeaker? Because everybody heard the same message. Okay. So that needs to be you. You are the principal of your business. Okay, so the second portion of this kickoff meeting, we looked at 2025. And for us at our company, we are focused on a two-prong approach in 2025. We want to look at the foundation of our business and just fill in anything that is a little bit weak, any gaps. So this is systems, processes, this is personnel. We're hiring 6 photographers. We're hiring an admin and 2 VAs right now. This is filling in all of those gaps, okay? Looking at our hiring process. We know if we want to grow, we've got to be able to hire and train quickly and effectively. This is the system. Where in the system? Do we have some old task hanging out? Do we have old pricing? So this is the foundational base of your business. Now, as the business owner, you might be sitting there saying, hey, well, Todd, how do I know? This seems like a lot of work to do. Like I need to go back and I got to figure out what's wrong with it. I'm just so busy right now trying to keep up with the added shoots that are coming in. And it's awesome that your business is growing. But I would say, no, this doesn't need to take up any of your time. How do we figure out those gaps? It's really simple. We ask our employees. We ask our clients. That's one thing over the years that I've learned, that if I don't ever know something, I used to sit and try real hard to think. Like, let me think about what's wrong with my business. Maybe 1 or 2 things come to mind. And those are probably the most recent problems you've had at your company. It doesn't actually mean it's a problem, though. It means it might be a very small thing that you don't need to turn attention to. So we ask our employees, we track these things, we look at the metrics of how frequently these things come in. So we ask our employees, and we've done this over the last 3 months, and we've been collecting that. So we know where these gaps exist. So we are letting everybody know about those gaps. Also, the thing that we've been doing at WOW is we've been empowering our employees. So one really neat thing that we've done, I think about 10 years ago or 15 years ago, I personally created and posted job descriptions for new employees. I would personally call those people. I would personally set up those different rounds of interviews. I would arrange all of that. I would look at feedback. I would call references. And then as we grew, the managers at WOW began doing that. And there was a segment to where I would do it with them and they would do it with me, and then they would do it by themselves and I would review. And now the managers all do that on their own. Well, one neat thing that we've done early in this year is we have passed that hiring, that sourcing and hiring down to the people in the division. So we've had people at WOW that have been here 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And They are doing their job all day, every day. So really, they're the best person to understand who the correct teammate is. So we had trumpeted this. We talked about this at this team meeting. And one thing that we did is we made sure that we are intentional about saying the growth of every employee in the meeting. And this was the bulk of the meeting. And I think it was actually the most important thing in the meeting because we got to say thank you to everybody. We got to talk about how the person who used to do headshots now has a different person in the company doing headshots. How fabulous troubleshooting and who stepped up to be a very good teacher. Who was doing that hiring and onboarding process? We looked at sales and stats from our sales team. We looked at one of our salespeople stepped up and now they're our sales manager right below Steve. So we looked at all of these items and we celebrated the team. And some of that is because we understand that belonging is incredibly important to human beings. That was one of my notes I wrote down here, and I am really getting into my notes, y'all. They fit together. But in my notes here from Dennis, I have number one biggest motivation, and an equal sign is belonging. When people feel like they belong, they will run through walls for you. They will make your life easier. They will solve problems. They won't just come to you with problems. They will come to you and tell you a problem, and they will tell you how they solved it. How fabulous is that for you as the business owner? Stepping back real quick and looking at the way I ran my company very early on, I felt like I needed to be involved in everything. I felt like I was the only one that could make the right decision. I was the only one that really cared enough to make the right decision. Literally, what copy paper do you want? Like, oh, well, probably Todd's the only one qualified to decide if we get the 27-pound or the 31-pound copy paper. Right, y'all, it's crazy. It's crazy talk in my brain. Like, I want to make sure I pick out the copy paper. Do we get the 98 brightness or the 100 brightness? And that's a silly example, but I say it to make fun of myself and so you all can laugh at me because those were things that slowed me down. Not empowering the team. Why would I spend my time thinking about copy paper? So, empowering your team is incredibly important. And the way you empower them and you get decisions that you would make or even better is that they feel like they belong at your company. So we felt as though taking time out of this meeting to highlight and give kudos and to cheer for everyone was incredibly important. Last year was our best year ever at WOW. And when you grow to a company, and we did 12,253 shoots, that was our best year ever. And it's tough to continue to grow. There's a lot of moving pieces. And not only did we grow, but we felt like everyone at the company grew and was taking steps up. So we wanted to make sure that they felt like they belonged, and taking time to do so was important to us. Finally, we wrapped up the presentation with just looking ahead at 2025, what the rest of it looked like. It was those foundational pieces, making sure everybody could step up and continue to feel like they were growing at WOW, that they were doing things that they felt motivated to do and they felt belonging in doing. And then we looked at how we were going to grow. And this was basically just that we were going to evaluate these opportunities, look to see where the team saw the most growth, and we were going to then focus on those activities. So that's what our presentation looked like. We took a outer space theme. Steve did a great job with it. We took an outer space theme. This was getting ready to launch. And the thing about this is your company is going to go through all of these things. And Steve made a great point at the end of the presentation that as your company grows, you're always going to create more gaps. You're always going to figure out how to fill those in. People are always going to step up and help you fill those in. And then you're going to pour some gasoline on the fire and grow some more. And you're going to grow till you create some cracks. And when you create those cracks, you're going to fill them back in. And it's this continuous cycle of patching and then growing and patching and growing. So that was an exciting time. The overall meeting was about 60 minutes. It was probably a little bit long, I'll tell you all. In person, it might have been okay, but we did it in the early morning before, as the day got started. And I think some of our, especially customer service team, was maybe a little distracted or feeling anxious about what was coming in on the phone lines and emails. So ideally, if you can get the whole team together outside of business hours, and if you can get somewhere and feed them dinner, or you can do something like that, I think that's a great use of time. So I wanted to hit a few more notes here, and then I'm going to wrap up for today. But I want to stay at a high level and kind of the touchy feeling. Overall, this is Valentine's Day. I know it's not when you're listening to it, but I'm recording on Valentine's Day. And I think the touchy-feely has gotten me so much further along in life and business, being in touch with those emotions. I know some of you out there, especially some of you males, are like, "Oh, Todd, I'm turning you off." Please don't. Please don't. When I started to realize how important feelings were, that's when it allowed me to really connect with my team and get those feelings back. When I shared, they would share, and that's when we made progress. So one thing that I have written down here from Dennis is that everything you do becomes symbolic. Let me read that one more time. Everything you do becomes symbolic. As you grow to be the leader of your company, you should try to move your team along in a way that they are remembering these things that you say, these motivational terms. And then they begin using these motivational terms. Okay, just some silly things over the years that I would say. At WOW, we say we give the people what they want. Give them what they want. And people will repeat that at WOW. A client calls in, they want something. It's like, that's a little crazy. But hey, we give them what they want. It doesn't mean it's what we want, but we want our clients to be important. Clients are our number one priority. Another thing, I can't tell you how many times I hear repeated throughout the company, are one of our 5 core values. Core value number 1 is clients are our number one priority. Number 2 is hard work. It takes hard work. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Number 3 is we are family. We talk about family a lot. Number 4 is be a disturbance in the force. We want to do things differently. We want to continue to give our clients new and better and pioneer things. And number 5 is think growth. We want to grow. That's important. It's important for our clients to feel like we're growing. It's important for our employees to feel like they are growing. So we have a lot of employees that use those phrases and tie core values back in. And that would only be possible, or that is only possible, because we do think symbolic about what we say. And now you're not going to say, they're not going to quote everything you say. Sometimes you just need to get some work done and you're talking normal conversation. But if you can always tie that back in, remember the why. Why are you doing this? It's for a bigger reason. And if you can tie people into that, then they feel that sense of belonging. Okay, I've got 2 more things for you all that I've highlighted here on my notes from one of my calls with Dennis, a coach of mine from several years ago. This is a funny one. He said the number 1 tax a business pays. Does anybody know what that is? What's your number 1 tax that you pay? The number 1 tax that you pay as a business is the stupid tax. Man, I have paid a lot of tax and stupidness over the years. I don't know about you guys, but I can think back over things of, wow, I really did that. Or man, we really spent that money. Heck, one year we met with our largest client and she decided to upgrade into our, what we called our Social 6. It was 5 more videos and a landing page of social media videos that they could use at various stages of the of the listing life cycle. So coming soon, just listed, sold, pending, things like that. See it today. And she does 100 with us a year, 100 videos with us a year. We realized towards the end of 1 year, we didn't even bill her for any of those. Okay. Yeah, 100 times $100, we lost 10 grand there. All right. That was the stupid tax. Okay. We flipped it on side and we made sure that she knew, like, hey, we're going to take care of this. We're not going to expect to back bill you. We used it as good. So when you do something stupid, you got to find out how you can get the good from it. A lot of times, if you do something stupid, you just have to go tell that person and be genuine with them. But man, I've paid a lot of stupid tax over the years. And when you do it, it's no fun. But if you harp on it, and if you beat yourself up over it, you're going to continue to pay that tax. Okay, find the good in it. There's always good in everything. I truly believe it. I love to live that way. I much prefer to live that way, to find the good in something than the bad and move on from there. Another term we use here is that's a badge of failure. So we wear that badge of failure. You know, I'm wearing it proudly because I've learned from it. And, you know, also sometimes we say that's just the cost of education. So, you know, how many of you went to school and got your degree in running a real estate media business, right? Nobody, right? I'm being silly. So you haven't learned this. It's not, we're learning as we go. And some things, no matter how much you read or listen to people or study, you just have to learn some things by making mistakes. And mistakes can be really good things for you. They hurt, but man, if you can find how you can turn things around and the good in that, then that stupid tax is worth paying. Finally, the last thing, it's a little bit of an activity he left me with, and I think this is a great activity. So what he challenged me to do is to sit with one employee. And he told me, he said, hey, blame this on me. So, hey, I'm working with a coach right now. And he told me that I needed to sit with someone, and I really think highly of your opinions. And I just need maybe 15 minutes with you to ask you a few questions. That's the way you could phrase it. So again, blame it on me, blame it on the fact that I'm asking you to do this with one of your employees. I think there is value in being transparent and saying that you're working with a coach. There's nothing bad about that. I think I thought that before. Hey, I'm going to hide that I'm working with a coach because I don't want anybody to know how messed up I am. Right? I mean, come on. No, just tell them. They're like, oh, that's cool. Todd's trying to get better. Todd's working on building this bigger. So tell them that. Tell them you're working with a coach. And Dennis, he challenged me to talk about progress and belonging. So here's a few things that you can ask them. So first off, in any meeting, I like to start off in asking what's going well. I always like to start off on the positive. What's going well? See where they're at. It might just be a specific situation. I made this client happy, or we fixed these photos, or it might be something more higher level where they're saying, hey, I'm progressing towards some of these skills, or I feel good that the team is growing. But I love getting started with what's going well. It's just a good way to start meetings. Then, the flip side of that is asking them, where there's some areas for improvement, and just listen, write those down. Don't try to solve them. Do not try to solve them. Just listen. I can't tell you how important it is and how much your employees will appreciate if you just listen to them. So what are areas of improvement? And then ask them if they have what their goals are, personal and business-wise. One thing that I always ask is I say, I really value you as an employee and appreciate all that you do. And I want to make sure that you feel fulfilled here at Wow Video Tours. And I want to know what fulfilled is for you. What does that progress look like? Today you are in our customer service. You're leading customer service. What would you like to be doing? What would you like that to look like in 1 year or 3 years or 5 years? and then let them talk. Again, some things that I did is I brought some of that terminology in, okay? How can you be fulfilled? What are your goals? This makes them feel connected to you. And again, remember, we're trying to have them feel like they belong at your company. And just let them talk. You're not going to try to guide them here. You're not going to try to do anything but just write this down. Okay, write down what they say so you know and you don't forget it. They will find value in the fact that you ask them, and they will find value in the fact that you are writing it down. Then finally, you know where they want to grow. And for me, when I used to do this, and without the last question I'm going to give you, it felt very heavy for me because I felt now they told me what they wanted, and I'd have to figure out how they would get that. And again, that's just a thought error. That was putting it all on myself. Why would Todd need to figure out how they grow? Just ask him, Todd. Again, I paid stupid tax here. So the next question I want you to ask is, and say, hey, thank you so much. I love to hear your definition of growth and where you want to grow here. And I'm so honored that you want to grow at our company. Now, looking at where you're at today and understanding where you want to grow in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. If you are here today, and I always put my hand up, my left hand up, I put it around my chin. And then I say, if growth is up here, and I put my other hand up higher. And for those of you watching on YouTube, this is going to make sense, but I have one hand lower, one hand higher. The hand higher is growth. And there is gaps in the middle. I say, if you are here today and you're trying to get there, in this middle, what do you need to learn? What do you need from me to be successful at your growth? And then just listen. I can tell you the things that I've gotten from this question have been incredible. Hey, I probably need to shadow photographers. I need to learn what the photographers are doing better. If I'm going to help our customers and I'm going to build relationships with our photographers, I truly need to know what they're going through. A customer service person told me that. I've had other people tell me that they need to learn more about personalities. They want to manage. And in order to manage, they feel like they need to understand personality types and how to help motivate and set goals for those personality types. How to communicate more properly. So you will find gold in this when you ask them, if you're here to get to there, which is your goal, in between, what do you need to know? And then just write that down. And then finally, ask them one more question and say, what makes them feel like they belong here? Now, this is a little bit of a touchy-feely question. Again, here's my feelings clock. I know those of you on YouTube, you're seeing my feelings clock right now, but those of you that are listening only, I have a clock and it has a whole bunch of different feelings written on it, and they're in colors, and they're everything from feelings of astonished to worried to violated to loathing, ignored, loving, hopeful, sensitive, peaceful, powerful. This is what you're asking for in this case. Asking them what makes them feel like they belong. And this might be a hard one. They might not have something to say. If they don't, just say, hey, I just want to make sure that you do feel like you belong here. And I highly value you and all the work you bring. I want to grow with you. So if there's ever anything in the future that you think of that makes you feel like you belong, I want to make sure that I know. So again, those are the things that I like to ask, or that I'm challenging you to ask in this meeting. So what's going well? What needs improvement? Just stay very high level and quick there. Then get to goals. If you are here and your goal is there, up higher, what's in between? What do you need to know? And then ask them, hey, I really appreciate you, and I want you to make sure that you can achieve your goals here. What makes you feel like you belong here at Wow Video Tours? So that is a challenge to you all. And some of you are saying, hey, this is a little weird, Todd. This is pretty touchy-feely. But I can't tell you how symbolic, again, I'm going to use one of my words, this will be in the eyes of your employee. That you took time to sit with them. You don't want to be the boss that's too busy to care about their employees, that's too busy and unapproachable to come ask questions. You don't want to be that. I've been that. People make up their own reality. They make up their own things. They feel like they're on an island and then they leave your company. Please take the time to care about your people and it will come back to you tenfold. And again, you're not doing it because you hope it comes back tenfold, but you're simply doing it because it's the right thing to do to serve them. Well, that's going to wrap us up here for another week of the Spiro podcast. Hey, thank you for sticking with me. Let me know how these conversations went. I'd love to know what responses you get when you ask an employee, hey, if you are here now and your goals are up here, what do you need to know in between? Were you shocked at what they said? Did you ever think about that, or was it what you expected? Please share with me. You can contact us here at Spiro, hello@spiro.media. Also, you can reach us in the pink chat bubble. If you have a tech question with Spiro, bottom right-hand corner, the pink chat bubble, you can get the team in there. And if you're like, hey, I'd love to sign up for Spiro, you can visit spiro.media. You can sign up for free. You can create an account instantly. There's no payment required, no adding a credit card. Also, if you are wanting to get geared up and systematized for 2025 here early in the year yet, we do have a free onboarding where our team will do the setup for you. So if you're interested in that, please message us in the pink chat bubble or email us hello@spiro.media and ask the team about the onboarding sessions, and we'll be happy to give you some more information. Hey, have a fabulous rest of your day. Thank you for spending time with me. And we will see you in a week. And be sure to take time to take a breath.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and Wow Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.